What's up, guys? Sensei back with another video. I honestly wanted to share this one for a long time. And I think this topic is super simple, but it's also simultaneously very powerful. And it's just a lesson that I learned from a little vacation that I did last year. And it's so simple, but I feel like it just encapsulates everything. And it's the answer to all. That made me sound like I knew everything. I don't know. That's just what I think it sounds like, okay? I went on this hike in Canada in this town called Jasper, and I climbed basically the tallest mountain in that area. This is in the Rockies in Canada, so for you Americans or Brits or other international people, it's basically where all those really tall and high mountains are in Canada. And I took some drops of LSD and I climbed up this mountain. I think it took around like 5 to 10 hours up and down. And then I went to the top of that mountain, or almost the peak, and I just looked at the view, and it was so quiet. And it was so, like, when I say quiet, like there was no like cars, obviously. It was straight nature, raw, unfiltered nature, with all these mountains and forests around me and stuff. And I kind of like opened my head up, and I opened my channels in a way, and I was like, whatever's out there, send me some sort of message. What's the goal here? And what I received was, the goal is to simply be. That's what I received. And then I took my mountain bike down that mountain, and it was beautiful, and I reflected on it. And I thought about it. I'm like, what does that mean to be? It's basically when you're in the natural order of yourself, of the universe. There's no inhibitions. There's no ego. There is no identity, in a sense. Like, when I say identity, it's just there's no attachment. There's not an attached identity. You just are. You're being. Now, I thought about it, and I'm like, okay, that kind of is the answer to everything. Because to be is like you're one with everything. When it comes to relationships, if you're having a hard time, like you sometimes maybe put on a facade, or you have trouble navigating yourself, whether it's in the initial stages, in the current stages, or in the I don't want to say subsequent stages, but it could be like just further down the line. But to be is it's like yourself, like you're being yourself. So you're basically you're coming to terms with the fact that you can only be who you are, and whatever happens is going to happen. There's no control that you're going to put forward to keep these people in line, or to keep someone from liking you, or from a situation or a person or a thing to still stay there. It's just like you're allowing it to happen. You're being yourself. So whatever is meant to happen, it's meant to be. It basically removes expectation on yourself, false expectation. But I thought about it. I'm like, because one of my goals was to do music, right? I'm sure a lot of you guys watching, obviously you have some sort of goal, or a lot of you may be figuring it out. Or say you have just one thing you're passionate about. It could be dance. It could be construction. It could be medical stuff. It could be anything. In my situation, it was music. And I had this fear that I was just doing it for the ego, the glory, the money. So I went up on that mountain, and I was going to journal about it. And I was going to ask, like, is that what I'm here for? Is that what I'm doing? Is that my preconceived intention with this whole purpose? But when it didn't even answer that. It said to be, as I mentioned, but part of being is doing what you're supposed to do, because it's in your spirit. It's what you're called for. It's your purpose. So I'm not making music to make money. That's when I realized, that's when I had the confirmation. I'm doing it because it's in my spirit. It's who I am. It's just what I embody. It's inside of me. And that's the same for you too. It's to be. See, being is what we all try to do. It's what we all try to achieve. I feel like that's the enlightenment that we try to either conceptualize or even try to attain for ourselves. But that's the answer. It's to be. It's like you're letting go of everything, but you're also simultaneously, through your actions, your thoughts, your emotions, your attitudes, your beliefs, you're also doing what you're supposed to do. You're also living out your calling. That's also being. Now, we have all these systems in place to keep us restricted. And those systems go on and on. We know what they are. But I feel like that's just what we're all trying to do. We're just trying to be. And I wouldn't have really conceptualized that message. I don't want to say conceptualize, it's not the right word. I don't think I would have applied or even interpreted this message if it wasn't for the analogy of nature, because I was in nature at that moment. And what I realized is nature is being. That's why when people say, oh, I want to go for like a hike or a nature walk to replenish my spirit, that's because nature is, I think it's us. We are nature. But I think it's because nature encapsulates what being is. That's why we want to be like nature, because nature is being. The reason why it's being is because it's so strong. It's so formidable. When I was on those mountains, these mountains and all these rocks and these trees and everything like that, it could wipe out, like one avalanche wipes out everything. One earthquake, a lot of stuff is falling down. And these mountains are just strong. They're thousands of miles or kilometers wide and tall. They're humongous. Volcanoes, everything like that. But trees, same thing. That's why when you look at a tree, it's just like, it's like a rock. And I don't mean like a physical rock. It poses like a rock. It's so strong, it's so formidable. That's why when Mother Nature kills, whether it's human beings or wildlife, we never ever blame Mother Nature. When human beings kill, of course, for no reason, we're like, okay, well, this guy's crazy, lock him up. Consequences. With nature, it ain't the case. Oh, it's just doing its thing. Yeah, you know what? Nature, it's just doing its thing. It's part of what it is. We have to let Mother Nature, let the ecosystem, continue its cycle. We have to let Mother Nature do its thing. And that's interesting. But despite nature being so strong and so, it's just impregnable, it's also very alluring. It has this charm. It's very soft. It's welcoming. It doesn't judge you. Nature doesn't judge you. It's just being. It's in its spot. It's doing its thing. It's living its purpose. But it's not going in these different directions or these different paths that's manipulating the natural order of the universe or the natural order of the world, of Earth. It's not going out of its way to do that because it's not intended to. It's not designed to do that. It's designed to do its thing. The only time when it's manipulated is when we cut down a tree. That's when it's manipulated. So that's why humans, I think, have trouble being, is because we are the ones who are not living in harmony with the natural order. And when I say natural order, I don't mean like some spiritual or religious thing. It's just the way things are. 80 years from now, your hometown is going to look different. Life moves on. It's the same. It's sure the physical, the physical structures or even the nature surrounding it might be different. It might be altered. However, it's still the same. It doesn't wait for you. It still is. And with nature, it's just so interesting because nature, it's like not only, like when I mentioned before, it's strong, it's formidable, it doesn't judge, but it also allows you to create scenarios and manipulate things that benefit you too. So that can be part of being as well. But I think we go too far with that. Meaning, let me just simplify it. I'm trying to climb that mountain, so I move rocks out of my way to make a clear path ahead. That's me manipulating, the outer world for my purpose. But I feel like we do that too much. And we don't master the other side of it. I think it's kind of hard to summarize, but that's just, at the end of the day, I think that's just what it is just to be. It's so simple, yet it's so profound in a way. It's so like, and it's difficult because it's like, how? We're not perfect. That's part of human nature. We're not perfect. So it's like, how do we be? Especially when we have all these, when I mentioned all these systems in place, but in addition to that, it's like when we have all these voices telling us what our purpose is, we don't know what it is maybe yet, or all these distractions that are suppressing our being in a sense. So I think that's what it is, man. The goal of life is to simply be. And I don't know if that's enlightenment. I don't know if there's some sort of long journey to get to that point, but it certainly is excruciatingly difficult to become. To be is so difficult. But I think that's what we're all trying to do at the end of the day. I don't know. I'm going on a little bit of a tangent, but that's what I think. That's what I think, man.